You also say you're now leaning more toward voting for Trump and Vance after this debate. Before this debate started, you said you weren't sure.
Yeah, I really liked that Vance said that he was pro-family and not necessarily pro-life or pro-choice. It was pro-family, which I really appreciated, and I think you have to take a lot of considerations into account when talking about abortion, and there's a lot to consider, a lot of medical factors, no matter at what stage of your pregnancy. So it's a hard one to decide for me on that one, because I don't think that there was still a clear answer on what his opinion was or what their opinion will be.
Yes, after a clear observations of what happened during the debate, I have seen CNN, Politico, the Washington Post coming out to say Vance won, though CNN was struggling to say there was no clear winner. When you take a look at this article from Politico, it was a very Midwestern debate and Vance won. The View seem not to be happy with this. I have seen videos surfacing pertaining to people debating on who won. At the end of this video, you are going to find out something spectacular. It is insane to actually see these women talk. Before we even go into that, let's take a look at this clip.
What kind of solidified that opinion?
Well, I'm going to be voting for Kamala Harris. You know, one of the stark sort of aspects of that debate that really stuck with me was when they were talking about January 6th and how Mike Pence certified the election, and they were wondering if J.D. Vance would certify the election should Trump lose. And, you know, J.D. Vance didn't really give us a definitive answer, and I'm disappointed in that fact. And I don't think that I can trust someone, you know, with my vote if they're not going to respect it.
Yes, I understand that some people are not really up there. I don't know if they're actually observing what is going on. This guy who talked about January 6th, I understand he watched only CNN and MMBC reason he can be talking like this. Something recently happened even. Jack Smith actually instructed, or what happened, they released everything. Just after the debate, someone said this is interference. Now going back into this clip, when you look at mainstream media posts, if they can still tell you that J.D. Evans won, after we all know what they usually do when it concerns Republicans.
Shockingly civil debate, if that's a thing. Both vice presidential candidates mostly sticking to differences in policy as they squared off over the issues. In a post-debate focus group, an overwhelming majority said they thought that Vance won last night. Here's why.
He's very battle-tested, very ready, and you can just see that he went to Yale, and he's very intelligent, and he reassured a lot of people, I think.
Somebody else.
It was a strong control of the facts. He ran the show.
He remained steady during the whole performance, and I was very impressed with him being very sincere and authentic.
He humanized himself and actually looked like a regular guy.
Joining us now, pollster and communication strategist Frank Luntz. Those were people that you had polled and were talking to. And I found the last comment really interesting because he humanized himself, indicating how badly he has looked in front of some people with some of the comments he's made. What did you make of how Vance did? And then we will get to Walz.
Well, I actually want to start, and I apologize to your listeners for this voice, but this is what happens when you do a focus group that doesn't end until an hour after the debate. Our participants had a lot to say. Number one, they loved both candidates. In fact, if they could, they would have reversed the tickets and put Vance and Walz on top and the other two on the bottom. Number two is it gave them faith in democracy, the idea that people could sit down, disagree, and do so civilly. But in terms of Vance, they were shocked that the Vance that they've seen up to this point was not the J.D. Vance of last night. Measured, thoughtful, emotional, willing to agree with his opponent, not divisive. The language that they used to describe him tells me that he has been misused on the campaign so far, that he would be far better communicating Donald Trump's agenda and vision and purpose than the attack dog kind of strategy that they've been using up to now. I have to tell you, only twice in my career have I had such an overwhelming movement towards one candidate. That's how significant yesterday was. Not that they were critical about Governor Walz, but they were so shocked at how emotive Senator Vance was.
Raise your hand if you feel like Senator J.D. Vance won this debate. And then 2 people feel like Governor Walz won the debate. So you said that you felt like J.D. Vance articulated his arguments the best. Bill, talk to us a little bit about that.
Yeah, he was a very smooth
talker.
Yes, he was.
Eric, what about you? I know you said you felt
Yeah,
like
I also agree that J.D. Vance, I think, was a smooth talker. The thing that I appreciated about Governor Walz is that I felt like he did answer more of the questions, like with data points and like with evidence. So I appreciated that perspective.
All of you here, when we were talking offline, said that immigration is still a big topic for you. And you all also seem to agree, based on the conversations that you heard when you heard Senator Vance talking about it, as well as Governor Walz. Start with you, Max, about what stood out with the policies that were proposed and why you feel so strongly about it.
Yeah, on immigration, I feel that, as the United States of America, there are people that want to come here for a better life, and there's a legal and proper way to do that, and that needs to be followed. You should expect that if you try to enter a country, with illegally, to be turned away. It is a mess that we have found ourselves in over the last 4 years with the extremely heightened immigration and families coming here, children being born here, and then what are we going to do? We've got now children United States citizens and parents that are not. It's a very difficult topic. With it brings the criminal element here as well, and people coming from other areas that they're from a different culture, and things that were okay necessarily where they came from are not okay here, and it creates a serious problem for our criminal justice system.
Before the debate started, 2 of the voters said that they were going to vote for Trump. 2 said they would vote for Harris. 2 said they were undecided. But by the end of it, those 2 undecided said they would vote for Trump.
Yes, I believe you have watched to this extent. When you look at what that poster said, nothing bad about J.D. Vance. He has never seen this before, this kind of performances. We're now looking at how people are reacting to this. They will never accept that J.D. Vance is top-notch. The impression they had about him throughout the campaign is different from what they observed. This kind of debate where you agree with your opponent, they use it to challenge him. It is something that a lot of people have not seen in a while. He put up a poll. Just 2 people went for Tim Walz. Everybody voted for him. So you see the difference. Now on the CBS poll, where they asked undecided voters to choose, we all saw what happened. They went for J.D. Vance. He articulated his word. Then there was another video I watched on CNN where they said, someone that can be good in debate like this, people should be scared of him. Instead. So you now see the reverse. When Kamala was there, they said, oh, Kamala is a good debater. We all know they appreciated her to a certain level, which I never understood. Now, because of J.D. Vance performance, these people will say, oh, people should be scared of him because he's a good debater.
The vice presidential nominees met on stage right here in New York.
Did he lose the 2020 election?
Tim, I'm focused on the future. Did Kamala Harris censor Americans from speaking their mind in the wake of the 2020 COVID situation?
That is a damning non-answer.
What?
Well, that was the craziest part, because no answer is an answer, right? And I think Walz was the clear winner. I'm surprised that some polls are saying something different. He was in command of the facts. He was in command of policies. He was civil. He was kind. He was willing to admit he made a mistake. On the other hand, J.D. Vance refused to admit that Trump lost the 2020 election. He is an election denier. That, in my view, makes him not only unfit, but disqualifies him from the very office for which he is running for. And the Kamala Harris and Tim Walz campaign has taken note of it. Take a look at what they just put out.
It's really rich for Democratic leaders to say that Donald Trump is a unique threat.
Are you kidding me right now? Are you kidding me right now? He is a truth teller.
Thank you guys for watching, and if you love what I'm doing here, please share the videos and subscribe if this is your first time coming, and check if your notification is on.
To you. When she comes out.
But I don't think most Americans would.
Trump.
I don't care if they write that.
Really want Trump to lose this election, right? No, you don't.
Vote for something else that's very important.
People very divided.